Hi, I'm James Rogers, a patent attorney and also former patent examiner with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. I'm also the author of the Complete Patent Kit, which is available now as the fourth edition. You can purchase this at Barnes and Noble. It's only available at Barnes and Noble. Please get the fourth edition. The earlier editions are not up to date. I'll be referencing this book as I go through this short video on a tip from my website, Why Patent. So I do videos under Why Patent. And one of the questions I get a lot, and I think it's a very important question, is how do I get global protection? What is the best way to get global patent protection? And this is actually a very sophisticated question because if you're successful in getting a patent, a U.S. patent, that does not give you rights abroad. That only gives you rights here in the United States. So it's actually a good idea to put some thought into this important question before you embark on the patent process. Um, Going abroad is not inexpensive. It can run into the tens of thousands of dollars. So I like to rephrase this question to what would be the most economical way to seek worldwide protection, or at least some of the largest markets, including the US, which I'm including under your patent what you're seeking for patents. The US is one of the largest markets. So clearly you would seek patent protection in the US, but you would also want to seek patent protection probably for like Europe or Japan. You'd want to include some of these important markets too. So what is the most economic way to do this? Well, in the Complete Patent Kit, I have a later chapter that deals with foreign um, prosecution and which goes into depth in this. And this is my take on what would be the best. And there's more than one way to go abroad to do foreign filing. But this would be my why patent um, suggestion and how I would do it when I'm approached with this question. So what I would first do is I would first write my patent application. And my book, The Complete Patent Kit, has many chapters dedicated to this. This is really the substantive part. You want to put some time in, write a clear, well planned out patent application, and then you will file that patent application as a provisional patent application. And I actually believe, and I state this in my book, that you as an inventor are the best person to write a patent application because you who else would know your invention better than you as the inventor. So I think this not only can be done and learned with some time spent, but you're one of the best people to be writing a patent application. So assuming you have written your well planned out patent application, the first step that I would do is I would file a provisional patent application with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And to file that, you will do that electronically. You will come to the United States Patent and Trademark Office Electronic Center, which is known as the Patent Center. You'll have to become registered. You'll have to follow the steps, get registered. And once you get registered, you will get into a platform that looks a lot like this. I'm inside the Patent Center on my platform. And what you would do a new submission, and under here you would see an icon for utility provisional. So you would be filing under that icon. And you will notice here too, because we're going to get to it very shortly, that under international applications, there's something called an international application, a PCT application. So what you would do, you would first file your provisional, get that filed, and now you're going to have 12 months or a year to file your PCT application. And I really think a PCT application is the way to go here. Basically it's a platform. It's a single international patent application that will allow you to seek protection in over 150 different member countries. Note that when I say seek protection, it's not going to give you a patent, the PCT application. It's not going to give you a global patent. Instead, it's a vehicle for you to enter the patent process in foreign countries. So I just want to make that clear. But I really think that it's a well known procedure, and I think this is the best procedure for you to enter the foreign filing stage later on after you file your PCT application, and I'll explain to you how that works. So again, you file your provisional, and after 12, with sometime within that 12 months, you file your PCT application. So you have a couple decisions to make here. Who do you want to use to file your PCT application? Well, I highly recommend that if you're a U.S. resident or national, that you use the United States Patent and Trademark Office to file your international PCT application. I think it'll be the most economical route. You could use the WIPO, um, which is the World Intellectual Property Organization, and file it with WIPO. However, I believe that that's going to be more expensive than going through the United States PTO. So I would take advantage. I would file it with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And as I said, if you come over to the Patent Center, you can click on International New Submission International Application. And when you do that, you'll be brought up to a package where you can fill in various bibliographic information about your invention, title, the applicant type, whether you're a single natural person or maybe you're the applicant, just to let you know, could be different than the inventor. So the inventors often assign their applications to, let's say, a corporation, and that would become the applicant. It's someone that owns the invention. So you would if it's an applicant that owns the invention, you would put a legal entity if it's like a corporation or an LLC. Sometimes the applicant and the inventor are going to be the same. So just keep that in mind. You would put you'd fill out the rest of this correspondence information, contact details, and then you'll see here there's an icon next after you do all of this where you upload documents. This is where you're going to upload your PCT application, which for this application, what you can use is actually, if you've written a good provisional application, you can just upload your provisional application, your claims, your specification, your drawings, and use this as your PCT application to file. And then you'll see, calculate fees, and then finally review and submit. Now, for the application data, and you would actually upload the documents here. They don't really specify here on the PTO website, but you need to file several lengthy forms for a PCT application. One, which is you need to have a PCT request, otherwise known as the PCT-RO 101. So there's various forms that you'll need with your PCT application, and I think actually this is where actually I do think going to the WIPO site, the World Intellectual Property Organization site, would be beneficial. And what I do is I become a registered user at the WIPO site, and this is sort of what the WIPO site looks like. And they have a system called EPCT. So you can search for EPCT, you'll bring it up, and you'll need a registered account with WIPO, and then you'll have an account with the EPCT. And basically, you log into this. It's similar kind of to an electronic filing center like the United States Patent and Trademark Office, but it's geared towards these international applications. And it's very useful because it will actually give you the forms. It'll generate the forms as you're filling out the relevant information. So I'll give you an example. You would create a new international application, and when you do that, you give it a name. And I have one that I've already created, a couple that I've created here. So let me I've got one here that I'm working on. But if you go to one of these, you'll get it's kind of like when I showed you at the Patent and Trademark Office Patent Center. You'll get various portions where you put in information. Like you'll put in, here is the first part is actually going to be your PCT request form. You can edit this and add the necessary data. Your priority claims, you would refer to your provisional patent application that you previously filed. It has various bibliographic information that you'll put in. I would designate the US again. I think it'll be cheaper to do that for your international search. You might want to take a look at some of these declarations it has that you can add that might be useful. And you'll put the abstract, just copy this from your provisional into the abstract. You put the title, put how many, the number of pages your drawings are, your abstract, and your claims that you previously uploaded to the USPTO website. So what this does, the nice thing about this is that when you get done, you can review and create a package, and it'll basically tell you if there's any errors, and then you can go back and correct. It'll also tell you what the fees are, so it's doing the fees for you. And when you do that, review and create a package, when you actually create the package, there'll be an icon. It'll download the package to your computer as a zip drive. Once you have that on your computer, then you can go back to the USPTO website where you're going to file the PCT application. And in that upload section that I mentioned previously, you'll upload this EPCT file, and the PTO will recognize it automatically, and it'll extract all the forms that you electronically did on the EPCT. So it's a very useful way to get these necessary forms and to get them accurate. And then I would upload that to the USPTO, and then I would submit it, pay the fees at the USPTO site. And again, use the USPTO as the filing. And I really do think that this is the most economical way. You could file your PCT with WIPO with the EPCT, but it's going to cost more to use WIPO. I would take advantage, if you're a U.S. resident or national, I would just file it with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. That is my Y patent tip. And just to finish up here, just to let you know, after you file, what's going to happen? Well, you've just bought yourself some more time. So you're going to have 30 or 31 months from your priority date. That's the date you filed the provisional application to now enter the national phase in all the countries that you want to enter. For example, you can enter, 30 months later from your priority date in the United States, which you probably would want to do. Big market. You could do Europe. You could do Canada. You could do Japan. So it delays having to spend a lot of money up front, gives you extra time. During this period, go out, market your invention, talk to venture capitalists or investors, potential investors. The other thing you'll get with the PCT application, you'll get a search eventually after you file it. It'll tell you, whether the Patent and Trademark Office or your searching authority believes that your invention is novel, and that can be useful too for you to kind of gauge whether you want to spend or how much money you want to spend on international foreign protection. So I really think that this is the best way to go. And if you have questions, always feel free to contact me. Also consider my book, The Complete Patent Kit. Fourth edition. I can be reached at www.ypatent.com. And good luck. And, I hope you have success in your in not only patenting your invention, but also marketing it, and that it brings you good value. Thank you.